Hi, my name is Austin Smith. I just finished Global Takeover FX's first 5-day course. It was amazing. It absolutely blew my expectations out of the water. I have to say, when I first came across stocks and trading in general, it was my senior year of high school when I first found it, and I was actually able to buy a couple stocks of my own, and that was awesome. I would wake up every morning and I would watch the markets, and I would get out of class and I would watch the market, and then I ended up going into college, and then left college and ended up pursuing a career in sales and in business. That's what I really enjoyed, was just business and sales and economics, and I really found that in high school, and so I pursued it. After I left college, I actually left college to go pursue that, and I loved it, and I started at a car dealership where I met Mauricio, and I was around people where I could talk about investing and how to use your money as a tool and how to be smart with your money. And then I had an opportunity to go and sell solar, which is something that I really believed in, that I really wanted to back up. And then I was watching these guys here at GLOBALTAKEOVERFX Takeover, Mauricio and Jordan, and they would post and they would post and they would post profits, and they would post what they were doing on the markets, and I was watching it, and I just started to really want to go do what they were doing. And so finally I got to the position where financially I could go and do that, and I could feel comfortable doing that. And I started talking to them more and started asking them questions, and I kind of came to the realization that they really had something here figured out on how to consistently make money off of trading. And it really seemed like it provided a lifestyle that I wanted, that I longed for, and that financial freedom to do what I want to do. And so I finally came to the point where I jumped ship, talked to Mauricio. I decided that I was going to get the most out of the 5-day course, out of his program, and I came and I worked hard, I studied, I took in everything he said, and here I am. I mean, actually, being able to look at a market and to break it down and to start to decipher and see what the market's going to do. And my first day, I had absolutely no idea how to do that, and now I can do that with some actual proficiency, and feel confident doing it.
So Austin, thank you. Of course, I want to just say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to teach you. It's been amazing. Today is Sunday. It's been exactly 1 week since we started. So my first question is, your first day, Sunday, coming into nothing, you took a big leap of faith, of course, leaving your job, not knowing how to work the market. You left what blew my mind is you left your job to pursue this before you actually started. And see, what I see is what I did personally, and what I see a lot of other students do is they study this part-time first before they leave your job. So what was kind of like your thought process behind that? Like, what made you like, hey, I need to do, it's like one or the other. Like, what was that? What was the, let me rephrase. What was like your thoughts going through your head?
So
when you first heard of my course.
My thoughts going through my head when I first heard the course. Well, first I talked to a lot of other people. Forex, I think, has kind of grown a name for itself recently, because you see all these MLM companies and they're posting all these things, and so I think that also caught my attention right up front. And I talked to a lot of those guys. I was actually a lot of them tried to recruit me out of Meraki, out of where I worked, with solar. And I didn't want to do it because it seemed I had those scammy feels to it. It seemed like I wasn't really going to learn how to trade. It seemed like those guys didn't really have a lot of trading knowledge. And what they really just wanted was just me to come in and to recruit, right? Which is what I didn't want to do. And so, I mean, Meraki is a place where you can make a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the solar industry, right? And since I was head flow, I was in training for, to be a manager. I was going to be a manager and start making salary. And I was a really big part in leading the team and helping the managers lead the team. Something that we always preached at Meraki was that if you want to be successful, you have to go and do something 100%. You're not going to get the results you expect if you don't go 100%. And so we were always telling people, if you have another job at Meraki, because that's a place where you can have no money or you can have all kinds of money, right? But you have to go 100% if you want that all kinds of money. And it really showed itself time and time again that if you're not giving it 100%, you don't have the all kinds of money. And so coming into Forex, it was something that I really wanted to do, and I really want to do full time, and I really want this to be my lifestyle. And so I thought if I was going to go, then I was going to go 100%, and I was going to go, you know, feet first, right in the deep end, just go for it. And so I thought about it for months and months and months and months, and then I finally came to the point to where I was like, hey, I have this opportunity. I trust Mauricio. I trust in what he's going to teach. He's actually going to teach me and give me an understanding of the market and of how to trade. And so I was like, okay, then if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go 100%. And that's when I called you, is when I was ready to do that. And I was like, hey, I have some questions. Can I come over? And I think it was like 3 hours later, I was over at your house asking questions. And it was like 2 days after that, I quit at Meraki. I was like, I'm done, I'm leaving. And then just a couple days later, we started the 5-day course.
Well, that's an amazing story there. I mean, so my next question would be, day one coming into the 5-day course, what were your expectations?
I mean,
not knowing anything at all, like.
I mean, I tried to come into the course without holding a lot of expectations, just to kind of take what I get to take what I get from the course. I mean, my expectation, like, I knew I was gonna have fun with learning it. I knew I was interested. I knew I was gonna get a lot out of the course. So I guess my expectation was really just to come in and to learn, and that's exactly what happened.
And so you know the way the course went down. We actually didn't break down any charts until day 2. We actually started learning how the way the market moves and stuff like that. Day 1 was a big psychology day. After day 1, what were your expectations of the rest of the week, what it was going to go by? Were you nervous at any point in time that you might not actually learn how to trade, or you might think that this was not for you?
No, not at all. I never thought that. Day 1, of course, was all psychology. And by day 5, by the last day, I understood why you put psychology right up front. And I think it's great that you designed the course like that. So day 1 was all psychology. Day 2 is when we actually started to come in and we started to learn about market structure, which is really the basis on how to do your analysis, right? So I never really had any worry that I wasn't going to learn or anything like that. As the days went on, it kept compounding and kept building on itself, the knowledge that you were giving us. And then by day 5, I was like, wow, the way you presented this to us was just awesome. I mean, it was just awesome. Like, so no, I never really had any fear that I wasn't going to learn or anything like that.
Awesome. So now being a full-time Forex trader, going at it 110%, where do you see yourself in Forex trading in the next 6 months?
In the next 6 months?
Short term, yeah.
Short term, I mean, my goal is to really be, if I'm not beating, I mean, my goal is to be beating you guys, right? Like, that's, you know, so I can come and go, I'm ahead of you guys, right? But I mean, in 6 months, I really want to be, I'm going to be supporting myself, absolutely. All of my bills are going to be paid. All of my fund money is going to be completely off of Forex. But in 6 months, my real goal is to be averaging $1,000 a day and be making $30K a month. That's my real goal, and I think it's absolutely doable.
Very realistic.
Yeah.
Very realistic.
Yeah.
One main thing is, like, a lot of jobs, you talk to somebody at a job and that's like a yearly salary, and when you tell them that, it's like, it's crazy. They're so mind blown. So it's not unrealistic at all whatsoever.
Yeah. I'm sure if I may, like you said, for someone who's working hourly, coming from a sales background, and then, you know, where they talk about, oh, hey, you can make all this money. I mean, I've been in companies where they go, oh, there's no real cap here. There's no real cap here. And there's some truth to that. But with Forex, there really is no cap. As you scale your trading account, I mean, there really starts to become no cap. So there's probably someone listening right now and they're like, I don't believe that, $1,000 a day. It's absolutely doable. It's absolutely doable.
And so it all goes back to day 1 psychology. That's why I threw it in, because of how mind-blowing it naturally is to just be like, wow, this is real, you know. Because I know when I first started, I was like, well, you know, I really didn't believe it at first, and then just like you, as time progressed on, it was just more and more mind-blowing, and it became more and more true. So, I mean, it's not a very unrealistic goal that you have there. It's very awesome. It's very, you know, it's just, let me ask you this. Where do you see yourself So you just told me where you saw yourself in 6 months as being a personal trader. Where do you see yourself with the Global Takeover FX brand and company in the next 6 months?
In the next 6 months?
Do you see yourself still hanging out with us or pursuing your own thing? And
I mean, I guess the really, really cool thing about Global FX is that if you just want to learn to trade and do your own thing, you absolutely can do that. You know, there's no harm, no foul. And then if you've got the lifetime membership to the website, so you've always got all of the information on the website, and you're continuously updating the website, and you're adding new information to it. You're on the group chat, so you can come ask questions. You always have a support network of traders there. But for myself, I really want to be involved in the loop of the Global Takeover FX brand, right? I mean, I want to be right up there with you and Jordan, answering people's questions, welcoming new people in, and everything like that. And you kind of build a friendship around trading, I think, and everyone has that like-minded mindset to go and to trade and to better themselves.
Awesome. Well, you know, I look forward to staying on this journey with you and keeping it going and stuff like that. So, overall, what do you think of my overall teaching when it comes to the 5-day course and how well I hold you to these high standards in these 5-day courses compared to my Learn It at Your Own Pace course? Because my Learn It at Your Own Pace course, you know, I can't really hold anybody to a high standard because the course speaks for itself. It's a Learn It at Your Own Pace. But being here with me in person, what do you think of that overall?
So I have to say I loved coming and I loved learning, right? I loved taking the course more than any other class, more than any other course I've ever taken. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, you're held to a higher standard, but it doesn't feel like, I think a lot of times when some people hear that, oh, you're going to be held to a higher standard, some people kind of get a little stressed out about that. Some people really look for that. And I really looked for that, to be held from the higher standard. So being here in person, getting to ask you questions, getting to hear directly from you, making sure everything was broken down so that me and Wyatt and everyone could understand exactly what you're teaching. I think that was awesome. The biggest thing for me is that you didn't teach off the clock. You didn't teach off the clock. You didn't say, oh, hey, we have these allotted hours for you to come in and I'm going to cram you with all this knowledge. No, we could stay. I mean, we were doing overtime. I was here before class started and way after class started, right? Me and Wyatt both. So you really taught off of understanding. And I feel like because you taught off of understanding and you took the time to make sure that we understood everything you were teaching, we gained a lot more from the course than I had expected.
At any point during the course, when I held you to these high standards and gave you this constructive criticism when things were wrong, and I would call you out on them, and I would tell you, like, is it? And I wouldn't just give you that answer. And I made you work for it. At any point, did you think I was being mean?
No, not at all. Not at all. You weren't being mean, because it was like, there was a challenge to going and marking up the charts and everything that you were doing, right? And I knew it was because I was learning, and I knew it's like, because we were held to a high standard, we didn't miss a lot. It was just little tiny details, and you got us to problem solve. You got us to work through it. You got us to think. You got us to ask why we were doing what we were doing, why we were thinking what we were thinking. So by doing that and holding us to the higher standards, it wasn't like just, hey, this is how you mark up a chart, but hey, this is how you actually think and take on the mindset of a trader.
Awesome. So I mean, that's pretty much it just for my questions that I had for you. Do you have any words or any advice for future 5-day course students coming in, or just any future members coming in general, whether no matter what course they want to take, whether if it's a Learn It at Your Own Pace, the 5-day course, the online 5-day course, or anything? Do you have any words of encouragement for them or words of wisdom, anything like that? Yeah,
absolutely. I would say come in and give it 100%. That's why I came in and I gave it 100%. I mean, Forex is my livelihood, so that's something that I really wanted to do. So give it 100%. One thing is that I took the course because there's so much information out there about trading. There's so much information, right? There's a lot of really good information, and there's a lot of really bad information. So by taking the course, whether it's going to be the online course or the 5-day course, although I promise you're going to get the most out of the 5-day course. You know that you're coming in and you're getting good information that you can turn around right after the course and apply and start to learn how to consistently make profit. So come in, absorb all of the information, and have fun with it. And do what Mauricio tells you, and it's going to work. I promise you it's going to work.
Awesome. Why is it, one last question, why is it that you say you get the most out of the 5-day course compared to the other course? So
the other course is there, right? It's really good, but there's something about being there in person. I think the biggest thing is just immediately, one, you can ask questions in person. You can absorb everything in person. But if you work with us, you problem solve with us, right? So you test our knowledge, you test that we're learning, right? And if we do mess up, and we do make a mistake, you start to ask us, are you sure about that? Why is that? Things like that. So there's no time for us to start building bad habits and start reinforcing bad habits with how we're marking up a chart and how we're doing our analysis. You're there to fix it right off the bat and to make sure that we're doing it correctly. That's why I think you get the most out of the in-person 5-day course.
Awesome. So if somebody was interested in doing the 5-day course, where do they go to get started?
So just go ahead, go to globaltakeoverfx.com. You can sign up with a membership, and you're going to see that there's the 5-day course right there. Click in, fill it out, and you sign up. It's that easy.
Austin, well, it was a pleasure of you being here with me, not only today doing this video, but as well as being here with me 5 days in a row, doing the course, going these late hours at times. We would get off at 12 midnight and we would start pretty early, going for 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes at a time and stuff like that. Like you said, I did offer understanding. So it was a pleasure, and I definitely do look forward to working with you and all the great things that we're going to accomplish together.
I appreciate that. Thank you for teaching me. I've had fun the whole way.